Not
I just been thinking about these Knicks over the past few weeks, and I kind of got scared as to the possibilities of this team, and then got smacked in the face when all these injuries started to come out.
Yep.
You know, I was feeling good. I was about to get bossy, and next thing you know, injuries to the farthest extent. And then with this trade, I think I think we took two steps back. You
Bossy
know.
bossy, for those who don't know, is patois for bragging.
Oh, like you speak patois.
Hey, I probably speak more than Jimmy does.
I don't speak any. I hear it. I try to
Hmm.
decipher it, but so far I'm just hearing it.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But it's
Just one
that's
thing. I apologize for interrupting. I spoke to Dave English, and he said the same. I
yeah, man. Yeah. So that's the area where I think they took two steps back, man. And I think it could be three steps back if my guy keeps shooting and dominating the ball the way that he does, of having to feel the need to do that. And I'm talking about JB. Because yesterday's game was a kind of, I didn't like that vibe of that game. He shot so much, even though he had 9 assists, yes, but the assists were not like he was intending on doing that. It was like a, oh, by the way, open man, hey, type of a setup that, situation. And I don't like that vibe of a game where he feels like he has a need to dominate the ball in that particular, because there's shortcomings on the team. I think there's a lot still to be taken out of that team, and if that's like the dominant field of this team during this time that we have limited players, I don't know. I'm just concerned about that, and I hope that's not leading to a third step back. You know, but that's my story. That's why I said there's much to talk about because of that
Well,
scenario. Two steps back.
well, I kind of look at the injuries a little differently from the way you do.
Hmm.
I
Right? That's not
kind of,
unusual. It's not
I,
unusual.
I kind of look at it from the standpoint of it gives us the opportunity, several opportunities. Well, first of all, it gives opportunity for the some of the other guys to rest, and it also gives another opportunity for some of the other guys to get some playing time. So if they do need to get pressed into playing, they have played already. It won't be a situation where they hadn't played and now someone does get hurt or someone gets in foul trouble and then they throw them in there. So I look like I don't think Achua is going to be playing a lot once everybody gets back, but he will be able to if necessary. Um, I also I'm not I don't know what role like somebody like Deuce is gonna have
Hmm.
once everybody gets healthy.
Hmm.
He's probably gonna be back down on the bench a little bit further down on the bench. But then the way he's shooting,
Hmm.
he's shooting 40% from three. Maybe he'll get more light because of it showing that he has the ability. So it's kind of like yeah, of course, I'm not happy that people are hurt, but I'm happy to see that people are getting a chance to play. As far as the game is the other night, I didn't think they're going to beat Boston. Although I do think at full strength they could beat Boston, and and
I don't disagree with that.
and not so much with Randall, but with OG.
Hmm.
I think if OG's plays, I think the Dean up against the Celtics is well, I won't say easy, but be easier with OG playing against that guy there. I forgot his name all of a sudden.
Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum,
Tatum.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I think for Boston, I think for us the biggest problem we're gonna have is Porzingis. But if we can stop one of them, I'm not so concerned about the other.
Mhm.
So to me, I think I want to see us get OG back. That's what I really think we're missing. More
Yeah.
so than
I don't disagree with that. My
I'm
whole
along similar lines
Mhm.
that the guys that they're getting experience. Because especially when they're playing like the top teams, so now when hopefully when the injuries are not a factor and they need to have them play, they'll have the experience of playing against the top teams, so they'll be a little more confident. Hopefully they'll be able to just hold their own, and help the team, not dominate, but add something to the team, not take away from.
Mhm. Right, right, right. Yeah, I'm just yeah, I just watching, JB play over the past leading into the All-Star game and then after. I his shooting his the desire to dominate the ball in that way to shoot and score is great. But I like that only in the fourth quarter. I like the first three quarters to really get the team engaged and maximize all of that so that the defense has an alternative to consider and not to be able to just zone in on them throughout the whole game. So it just I don't know if that's his desire on the court, that's how they want to play. I don't know if that's what's the motivating factor behind that, but I just see it.
well,
There's a pot there's a window of being able to utilize to get more out of his teammates in those first three quarters. And particularly in the first quarter. I don't think he needs to come in and just start jacking up shots. I don't but that's been his whole MO since he's been here. So I can't fuss about that. But even during this time when there's lack of skill sets on the court, I think there's an opportunity in that first quarter to really just big up basically his teammates to get them into the game because he can get his points at any point in time during the game. So that's not never even a question. But to start off the game with him just doing that, I think that just puts the team in a different spiral. So that's just me.
yeah, but see,
Mm.
but you say that based on one game, but
No, that's not the last few games leading up into the All-Star game, and then the first two games after that. I mean, that first game against Philly, even though they won the game, he was. I mean, these came in just putting up shots. I'm like, whoa. I mean, dude, you just came from an All-Star game. You don't need to be doing that at this particular point in time.
why?
You
If the shots are going in,
they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't going
They
in.
weren't. They weren't.
Yeah, he was taking a
And
lot
I'm
of
like,
shots that were
he was,
missing.
and it
That was,
was, and it was unnecessary shots. He was really forcing. He was
yeah.
forcing it, and I'm like, he didn't have to play that way at that soon. The first kicking off the game, I'm like, really, he didn't have to do that. There was another opportunities to get his team engaged on a different level. I mean, he could still penetrate to get the ball in, but he had a lot of open opportunities to get, Precious or the big man little dish passes in because they was all scheming toward him, but he was trying to force the shot against double teams. I'm like, he could have had the pass. So those opportunities were missed. I didn't think he needed to play that style of a game at that juncture in the game. And it didn't hurt them in that game, but
I think I really think that's nitpicking, man. I mean,
I'm just saying I'm not I don't think it's a nitpick because that's has been his MO leading into the All-Star game and then after it. It's just continued on. So it's all in one. He's been playing that style since the injuries have been significant. And I understand why. But especially coming to the All-Star game, you're gonna be off anyway. So it's about getting your team, in a zone at that particular point in time. And I just think that approach, it didn't hurt him in the Philly game because they was able to overcome that because that Philly team, they was they
Scrubs.
they are what they are without Embiid. You know. But hey, they won the next game after this, so the next day. So who knows?
That
But
was against Cleveland, right?
yeah, against Cleveland.
Without
So
the
it's
boy
like,
though.
but still, I just that's just whether you call it nitpick or not, I just noticed that style of play over the past few games leading to the All-Star game and then afterwards as well. So that's just is my desire to want more point guardism to come out of his game than anything else. That's probably more than
He
anything
had
else,
9 assists, right?
Mhm. Yeah, 9 assists. He did. That's why I said it's hard to stand against that because it's still 9 assists. But I didn't see it as 9 assists where they were intended. It was like a oh by the way type of scenario. It's not like and the guys make shots, so that's the good part. So it may be nitpicking.
But didn't he have quite a few assists in with Philadelphia also?
He had 12 assists, but
12, yeah,
that
yeah, I
came
think it was
about
12.
after in the second quarter and everything else when what's my name? Boyan got in the game as well. He was on fire.
What about his turnovers in those
Yeah, he
games?
had big turnover games in Philly. In
Yeah,
Philly,
he had
yeah,
turnovers,
big turn.
unusual amount.
Well,
Yeah, it was
he's gonna have a lot of turnovers because he's gonna have the ball a lot.
Yeah,
not just that, but he was forcing it in the first half. He was
yeah.
in that Philly game. He was forcing it unnecessarily. He was trying to make plays against just just trying to make plays against the big guys, which is fine. It was he's been doing. He's been effective in that, but he didn't have it in the first half, in the first quarter, and he made had like 4 turnovers in the first quarter. So it was like, okay, chill, man. This is not the point to be doing that type of game. Flip it around, observe the game a little bit better, and he did. He made the adjustment. He was able to get the ball out a little bit more. Didn't force his shots as much because he was forcing shots and trying to do too much. He over penetrated a lot in the first quarter, which was I don't know what that was about. That was just kind of weird. But it is what it is. They won the game against Boston. It was kind of challenging, and they're gonna it's gonna be an up and up scenario for them for the next month basically. I don't think I really don't think Randall was coming back. You know, I
Why
think
not?
I think he just should have just had the surgery right from the start, just be ready for
He did
next
have
year.
surgery?
No, he didn't have surgery yet, but
Okay.
just that whole because my viewpoint it is 'cause Carmelo had the shoulder injury back when they was moving toward the playoffs that year, and he wasn't as effective. That it hurt part of his game. He
Uh,
had to change up his game when he was in
Yeah,
that second round series.
but wasn't
And
Melo's his shooting shoulder?
still, I don't think it's a difference. Julius he leads in with his. I mean, he maybe shoot left, but he leads with his right when he comes in to get off that shot. So that pounding on your shoulder, that's what he does. He leans in with that. He doesn't lean with his left and shoot like that. He leans in with his right just to get it off. So maybe his shooting shoulder is free, but he has to take that pounding before he gets the shoulder. So I said, and then that action right there is gone. It's going to change his game. I don't think he's going to be using that bully ball type of mindset, or even penetrating inside the paint as most with that shoulder itself.
and then you
So
got the factor of being concerned about re-injury. That might be gone too.
and it's a setback. I'd rather him just because his shoulder it was significance. Melo wasn't that, and when he had his shoulder injury, it was to the point to where it was still manageable. His game wasn't as effective, but his was a pure separation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess he just would have just had the surgery and just get it over with, man. Because as you said, Jimmy, it's more of a risk of him re-injuring and being less of a player at the same time. And what did you get? You know.
Do you
So
think we will miss him that much?
I think without him there, Brunson takes on more responsibility, and they're able to. If he doesn't use this time to really, as you said, get more comfortable and getting the guys involved in the game so that they can get more comfortable on the court and how to navigate without Randall on the court, because this is the time to do it. These 27 games they have. This is it. They got to get to the point to where they be able to do more with less, and I'm just not sure if that's going to be possible if that level of engagement with his teammates on the court is going to result into that. So that's my concern. And I don't know well, I shouldn't say I don't know what's going on with Burks, but he's shooting worse since he was in Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is ridiculous, dude. I'm like, come on, man. This is we know you're a off the bench guy with a bucket, but he's not even getting buckets. He's shooting worse in all categories, and he's not in playing more minutes and shooting more. So I'm like, dude, come on. I'm not. I don't know what's up with that. Ain't like you are not used to being a off the bench type of a guy. So
It
what's
seems
the
to me
deal?
that you're being very pessimistic today because it seems
I
to
just
me.
told you. I just told you. I think we took 2 steps back just from my assessment. They took. That's what I'm saying, and it could just be they need 10 games to get everything cleared up, and they take off, which is fine. That's the whole deal. Whenever you make a trade in the middle of the season, you need about 10 games to get everybody in sync what they need to do. I'm cool with that. But in that 10-game scenario, I just think they took a step back, 2 steps back, I should say.
I think you. I don't. I think. Well, first of all, I didn't think they were gonna beat. My mind is gone today, fellas.
Denver.
Your
No,
mind's going
no,
all the
no,
time,
no.
You know,
What's the team from Florida? The other team from Florida?
Orlando.
Orlando. I didn't think they're going to beat Orlando
Hmm.
Yeah.
because Orlando's too. Without OG again, without OG, Orlando and we talked about this before. Orlando was too athletic, so I didn't think they're going to beat Orlando.
They didn't even have anybody playing that game, so that wasn't even an option.
I just I didn't
The whole team was hurt. You had
I
Bojan
didn't
and you had Dante out.
exactly
So
exactly,
I wasn't even concerned about that game.
I know, but I'm just going back that far.
Hmm.
And so I'm looking at it from the standpoint that I don't think right now, I don't think there's any team in the East that we have to worry about other than Boston,
Hmm.
including Cleveland.
No, I never was worried about Cleveland, so that's not even a point to be made.
Right. So Boston's the only team we got to worry about.
Mhm.
So if in the next 10 or 11 games, you you win 5 or 6 of those games, 4 of those games, something like that, and you wind up with 40 something wins, and then you go with a couple more wins, but you're setting yourself up, getting everybody healthy, even without Julius getting healthy,
Mhm.
right? If you come back with OG, right? You
Mhm.
if you play OG at the 3 and you play Ochua at the 4, and hopefully you get Robinson back, or even if Robinson doesn't come back, you um Stein, what's his name? The other center.
Isaiah.
Oh, Hartenstein.
Yeah,
Hartenstein.
Hardenstein. If his ankles hold up,
Yeah.
Achilles.
well, it's still the ankle area.
Mhm.
But if they
Yep.
hold up,
Send you back to anatomy class. I mean, come on now.
it's in the area, bro.
All right. I would say
And
more the calf than anything else, than ankle.
the Achilles,
Hmm.
the have you heard the term Achilles heel?
Yeah, I would still
That's
say the calf. That's where
that's
the
where
connection is at. That's where the
no, it's
connection is at.
not. The
It is.
Achilles, the Achilles is the heel.
Yeah.
Look it
Okay.
up, bro. Look it
Okay.
up.
Okay. It's the tendon. The tendon in the back.
Right. Near the heel. Hey, listen, y'all need an anatomy class. I know what I'm talking about.
I
It's
don't
not
know
it's
about
not
that.
near the calf,
But
it's
you
near
you
the
test
heel.
you testifying now? I mean, come on now. Come on.
Come on, man. So anyway, when if his ankle or Achilles, the foot, whatever, if it holds up, I think he'll be okay at the center spot. And surprisingly, Sims have been playing pretty good at the center spot.
Yes.
He
It's
really
it's just
has
it's a matter of, I think, for him,
playing time.
playing time and him having confidence in himself and him having confidence that the coach is going to let him play.
Yeah.
That always is a factor with a player. So
And he's young. I always liked him, but he's young, so
Mhm.
you know.
So the point that I'm saying is that I really don't believe that Randall is that big of a deal. I do think we'll be better with him,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we will be more concerned with getting OG back, because that's where we really have a problem, because I think Achua can hold down that spot. Him,
Yeah.
him and the guy we just got from Detroit,
Boyan. Mm-hmm.
Boyan.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and Boyan could hold on that spot. Achua plays well.
Mm-hmm.
Good rebounder,
He definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
good defender,
And he's a decent foul shooter also if he gets
decent
fouled.
foul shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he a scorer like Randall? No, he's not.
No.
But can can he score 12, 13, 15 points a game? Sure. But can he grab 12 rebounds? Absolutely. And so I really believe that's where we need to get OG back. And I think once we do that, I'm not worried about any other team in the East other than Boston. Philly doesn't frighten me at all. Miami doesn't frighten me at all. Cleveland doesn't frighten me at all. And I think the way Brunson has been playing is just fine. Because
Yeah.
if Brunson continues to play the way he's playing, if he gives you 34-9 on a regular basis, I'll take it every.
I understand that. I understand that.
I'll take it
It's
every
hard.
night.
It's just hard. I know it's hard for it's like sacrilegious to be that critical of my boy like that.
Yeah,
It's just the point guard in me that just is just I like more distribution and not to have to force it when you don't have to force it. I
whether
think that
whether
I think the fourth quarter is more of a time for you to be Superman than the very first beginning of a game. That's all I'm
and
saying.
and and I don't argue that when it comes down to logical basketball play, that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what they say, right? The end justifies the means. If you wind up with 34-9, I did my job.
Okay.
Now, if you wind up with 14-3, now I'm like Jay, hey, JB, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but the boy doing his job.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to 10 games, man. I'm gonna give it to 10 games.
And here's the other thing that you got to consider,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the Boston game. Boston, they are a very good defending team.
Mm-hmm. And
And
they could key in on Brunson in that game, which they did, and he still killed him. I know.
hey, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they also keyed in on Dante too. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
So something you got to consider also.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't foresee it being a problem going forward. I really don't. All I want to see is OG. I would love Randall to come back. Don't get me wrong. I would love him to come back. But I'm more concerned about OG coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's our defender. That's the guy who's gonna stop. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we play Cleveland. That's who's going to stop the
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
If we play Miami, that's who's going to stop Butler.
Butler.
You know, if we play this team, that's our stopper. So we can score, but we gotta stop them.
Yeah.
That's what happened in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the defense, exactly.
What's happened?
And that's been for lack of a pun, an Achilles heel for the Knicks for so long. Their defense.
That's funny.
You know, by the way, you know, everybody looking up Achilles right now, looking up and seeing that is near the heel, not the.
It's attached to the heel.
Thank you, not the calf.
It's attached to it, but it's the leg. So ankle, Achilles.
Yeah, don't give him that, Jim. Don't give him
leg.
That. Yeah. So is the hip.
Exactly.
I think we woke up Glenn, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I happen to know anatomy.
You can't spell anatomy.
That's true. I say I can smell it. Yeah, so I mean that's how I look at it. You know,
Mhm.
I'm just not worried
No.
about the East, and I think Brunson is playing excellently.
Mhm.
Best point guard we ever had, other than Walt Frazier.
Yeah. And I think also that, you can't expect them to be perfect all the time. There's some games and we're fortunate that it's only been these few games, throughout
Mhm.
the season of these, and hopefully, and a lot of times, like after the All-Star game and even before the All-Star game, for some reason, I find that the players that played in the All-Star game, they either do a little better or they kind of slack off a little bit.
Mhm.
I don't know
Well, yeah.
why. That just seems to be a
And they
common
Especially since they
scored
don't.
they scored
Especially.
500 points in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
They should be tired. Or maybe they shouldn't be tired because they didn't play any defense.
You ain't play no defense, right? Defense is where you get tired. Offense, you can play basketball all day for just that.
Yeah. And a
And
lot of times players are on the bench, even though they're all-stars, they spend a lot of time on the bench too, so it's not like they're wearing themselves out.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I can't believe we're talking about the All-Star game now.
No, we're not because it was stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Not the
But
game, just what goes on during the game.
he when they came back and played Philly, um, he outplayed Maxi.
Mm-hmm. Maxi got him in the third quarter, but
Yep.
but again, it's funny. Deuce had an impact.
Deuce shooting has really now. That's
It's
one
just
thing I
dropped
give
off
you,
too. Mhm.
huh?
It's dropped off actually over the past couple games though.
The shooting.
It had dropped. He's taking less and less shots. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe he's not being, I don't know what that is.
He may be taking less shots, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he's shooting 40% from three,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and that's a lot better than he was last year.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, he ain't play. Shoot,
Yeah,
that other dude was playing.
but I do give you credit for one thing. You did say that in the G League he was doing
Mm-hmm.
very well,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like that has come over.
The same shots he was getting, but it was a little bit more confidence now, being able to execute those same type of plays against the pros. So he's been able to see that he can do that. Now we're just in the context of the team. You know.
Yep, I think that's the deal.
Mm-hmm. Hey, is Taj not with the team anymore, right? He finished off his second 10-day, right?
Yeah, his
Yeah,
10 days are up.
yeah. So they got like 2 spots left over to fill in. I wonder what they're gonna do with that.
No, because they got that guy. They got they have. I don't think they have any spots.
No, they got spots.
I don't think so. One second.
Oh, Daquan Jeffrey signed a 10-day contract.
Yes.
Okay,
Jeffries
and both Toppin signed a 10-day
and
contract. Okay,
Toppin. They
okay.
kept Toppin because
Mm-hmm.
and that gives them 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, I didn't realize they signed them to 10-day contracts.
yeah, they
So see how because I guess they waiting for the waiver wire on March 1st to see what happens.
you
To
think
see
so?
to see who's going to be left off from other teams and say they can make a pickup. Because they just signed them 10-day deals because they already on 10 two-way contracts. So
Also, if they have to cut them, they can cut them.
no, they just go back to the 10-day two-way contracts after the
Oh,
10 days, you know?
and you just go back to the G League
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they still talking now. I just heard them talking last night and said, "Oh, the Knicks still want to get a star." I don't know how they gonna do this.
Next year.
How?
I heard this crazy um proposal
Which
was
is
if dude from Phoenix, KD, doesn't go far with Phoenix, that the Knicks will trade for him next year for
for
Randall.
KD?
Mm-hmm.
No, get out of here, man.
I just told you that's the craziest thing I heard. I'm like,
That's
yeah, I don't know
that's
about
beyond
that.
That's beyond crazy. That's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you gonna trade for an old KD? You're gonna wait till he needs a walker, then you're gonna trade for him? No pun intended, Jim. But come
Well,
on, man.
well, that's another thing that the Knicks have, is you're not surprised when they do things like that. They've
Mm-hmm.
done things like that in the past.
Mm-hmm. They
You
always
know.
get the old guy
Yep.
Yeah, come on,
in the
man.
end of his career. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I told you who I'm looking at is Jabari from Houston.
Yeah, we've been said that.
That's who I would
Houston
like.
ain't, Houston ain't let him go.
You don't
Even
know
though,
that. You don't know that if he's got those picks
yeah, what trade Randall for him? You saying?
and 2 or 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I would do. Now that I would do.
Okay. We'll see.
You wouldn't do that?
Mm, I don't know. Not Jabari. His game over the past since he's come back has been a little bit more aggressive. I would say that's that's a good thing because that means he's a little bit more confident in his role there on Houston because they got a lot of they've been using what's his name the big man Sagon. They've been focusing a lot on him. So he's Jabari had to figure out where he fits in with that offense. Is he really going to be more of a 3 or a 4 or 5, and how to be effective in those spots.
Well,
So if he's,
he's played mostly the three.
mm-hmm,
Mostly. I wouldn't
mm-hmm,
say exclusively, but
mm-hmm.
mostly the three.
But again, that's feeling confident in where the ball's coming to you in certain spots, and you being aggressive to be able to handle that. So that's just an area where hopefully he continues to prove that. And if the time comes where I wouldn't mind him. I'll tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind him on a squad, but I'd be very surprised if that happens.
Well, I'd be surprised too, but that's who I would go for.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like that.
There's not too many like Jabari. I mean, although I've been looking at some of these upcoming players in the draft, and I know it makes no sense to talk about the draft, but because we're not going to use them at any point in time anyway, so it's like it's a waste. But there's a couple.
Again, I disagree with that. I disagree with that, man. I like I told you before, the example I used before, I said if we were to draft someone like, not if that person, but someone like a LeBron James or
Ay,
Melo
ay, ay, ay,
or Mel.
ay, ay.
I'm just saying, like, right?
Ay,
So
ay,
so
ay.
you tell me that we draft somebody in the draft that has outstanding potential. We're not gonna play him?
So just take that logic, Jimmy, and the player that he's describing, like LeBron, like Melo, were top 3 picks in the draft.
Right. Oh. Forget about the third pick we had a couple years ago when they're talking about that idiot who's in
But
Canada
but
right
but
now.
but was he like LeBron or
No,
Melo?
he
Okay, so
wasn't.
so
No.
so that's so the point I'm making is those guys were top 3 and lived up to that, right? That's what you're talking about. A
Okay,
top
okay,
3 that lives up to their
okay.
drafting.
Wait, all right.
So
Wait a
that
minute.
means we have to be in position to have a top 3 pick to
Yeah, I understand
be
that,
able to get
but listen,
someone like that.
I know that, but the point that I'm saying, I just don't think that he would not play someone who was really, really good. That's the point that I'm making. Because right, let's just say for argument's sake, we had the number 2 pick rather than the number 3 pick, and so when John Morant came out, we'd have picked John Morant instead of the idiot who's in Canada now. You don't think he'd been playing him? Of course, if he was healthy and didn't have all the gun problems, all that stuff. You don't think he'd been playing him?
No, because he would have had more problems in New York. would never would have made
Well,
it because he had those problems in Memphis.
I I just said not having those problems.
That wasn't being. They don't go together.
But I'm just saying
Don't go
if those problems don't exist, the question is, would he be playing them?
Okay.
Of course, he would be playing him.
All right.
Be playing him because of his talent. Now, of
Okay.
course, with other things may come into the picture that may cause a problem, like in John Morant's case. But he would have been playing him. He's not gonna not play him. If the man is that good, you're not gonna not play him. What is wrong with you? You are so dead set against Thibodeau that you can't see anything that he would do outside of what he normally would do. And that's just not the case. If you have someone of that type of talent, you're gonna play him, or you won't be coaching. Because then you mean telling me you had John Morant sitting on the bench?
See, you're
No,
you're taking my viewpoint of the coach and taking it out of context.
no, I'm not. No, I'm
Yes, you
not.
are.
That's exactly how you feel.
No.
You feel as though that if we was to get a young man in the draft who is outstanding, but because he's a rookie, he's not playing him. And I'm telling you, that's not the case.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
telling you, if
we can't prove that because it's not going to happen. So I don't know why we even talking about it. Because to
talk
get
about
to do your point, we have to have a top 3 pick again. That means we have to lose. And if we have to lose, I don't think we're doing this podcast again because we will be too bent out of shape because they're losing to be able to talk about them.
you
Yeah.
just you just kill me with your silly way of thinking, man.
Hey, that's what makes me me, man. That's Harlem2MSG, man.
It's
That's what it is.
crazy. No, you wouldn't play him. Oh, you nuts. Whatever.
Mhm.
Harlem MSG signing off. You're right. I just you drive me crazy with you. With your,
Well, at least we know the big baby's back, so we happy to have that, At least we know that. I can't fuss about that, The big baby is back.
unbelievable, man.
Hey, man, that's what it is. It's gonna be believable.
And then this guy goes out, he scores 34 points, gets 9 assists, and you complaining.
I'm talking about a pattern, my friend. Just talking about a pattern.
Yeah, the pattern of winning. So you lose to the best team in. I almost said baseball. Wow, you lose to the best team in basketball. Come on, man.
Well,
And half your team is out hurt. And the other half of your team that you just got that was supposed to be doing so good is not doing that good anymore at this point.
no, I haven't even taken a time to sniff what they've been doing. So either way, so I don't
Come
even
on,
know.
man.
I can't even validate your last statement there. So either way, next 3 games before we close out our fantastic discussion with big babyisms all throughout it. You play at home the next 3 games: Detroit,
Win,
New Orleans, Golden
win.
State. I'm about to get into all that. Calm down. All right. Ay, ay, ay. So Monday, we home against Detroit. Tuesday, next day, home against New Orleans. Thursday, against the Warriors. That's the next 3 games. I'm saying 2-1.
I'm thinking that New Orleans game might be a loss because being kind of tired from playing in Detroit because they
No, they're playing at home.
no well are playing Detroit.
Okay.
I don't know, and I don't know. Sometimes that fat boy down there has good games against New York.
Well, he hasn't played against New York. So
Zion.
Yeah,
he hasn't played against New York.
he hasn't played against New York.
Mm-mm. I don't think he's played like in the past,
2 years ago.
the first game this season. I don't think he played that game.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him this year. I
Yeah,
didn't see him
against New
play
York.
New York
It
this
was
year.
like early in the season. I go back. They
Maybe he
lost to
did.
New Orleans. The second is like a third game of the season.
Maybe
Did
he
he
did.
play?
Maybe he
Did he
didn't.
play?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't. But
Let me go see.
Uh,
Hold on a second. Because they lost. There was a third game in the season they played them. Let me see if they. Excuse me.
I don't know whether I really don't remember whether he played or not.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he played them. He played
Oh,
28 minutes.
okay, okay.
Yeah, he played. That was in New Orleans at the Garden the last couple. He didn't play the last time he was in the Garden though.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
So, but I'm still going 2-1. I think they're going to beat
what two?
Detroit. They're going to beat Detroit and they're going to beat New Orleans. They're going to lose to the Warriors.
Warriors are too small, man.
They played too fast.
Although they got that Jackson Davis kid, he's big and he's
And I
playing.
wanted him in the draft. I wanted him in the second round. He went to, that team.
I'm thinking. I'm gonna go 3-0.
I'm surprised you even know that guy. And the reason why I wanted him because he played with Indiana. He played with Mike Woodson. They had to end with him. I'm like, hello, come on. Second round, you can pick up this guy. Mike Woodson knows him. He gave him the cosign. But that's me. But watch it. Indiana has another big man, Ty Jones, could play the 4 in the draft. Keep an eye on that.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I still say 3-0.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm gonna
What
say 3
are
0.
we talking about here? We talking?
I'm,
We talking? Are we talking?
I'm gonna say 3-0 because I don't have a lot of confidence in. You know what? I don't have confidence in Golden State
Mm-hmm.
fourth quarters
Okay.
because it seems like, and I know we don't talk about other teams extensively, but I just want to just say
Say
it.
what you got to say. You've been talking
It's
all night anyway, so.
yeah, because you got on my nerves with that Thibodeau thing. But anyway,
And I even bring him up. You did.
yes, you did. Yes, you
I even
did.
bring him up.
Yes, you did. You say you wouldn't play him. We wouldn't play him.
You
Anyway,
brought the topic up.
whatever, whatever.
You
I
you
think I I think when it comes to the fourth quarter for Golden State, um, they they as great as Perry is, I think they depend on the three too much in, in the fourth quarter, and I think that
been the,
I think the Knicks can overcome that.
it's been the MO for they do their domination, so
Yeah, but he also hasn't been 200 years old. He's getting older, and people are learning that you have to DM outside a little bit further
Mhm.
outside.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say 3-0.
All right.
I mean, hey, I've been wrong once in my life, so hey.
Okay. What do you say, Jimmy?
I would say 2-1. I don't think they're going to beat Golden State.
You just
And,
scared
and,
to.
and the reason I say that is because I agree with what you're saying. Is the fourth quarter, it tends to be difficult for them. But you look at the teams that they beat in the fourth quarter, at the very end, so to speak, they don't give up. So you really have to,
You
unless
got
you
to
can
beat him.
shut them
Yeah.
down.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Golden State that bothers me is their turnover. They especially like in the as the game is from the first quarter to the third quarter, they have a lot of turnovers. It's like they're trying to do a lot that they don't need to be doing. Yeah. Trying to play like the old Golden State Warriors did. They're trying to do the same thing, emulate the same
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it's not working, or
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work the same way. So but I still think like when it comes toward the end, like when they played the LA game with the Lakers,
Mm-hmm.
like we said, we don't want to talk about other teams, but you can't sleep on Curry regardless, even though he's 200 years old, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sleep on him. And then he's got that. I'm trying to remember this kid, this rookie.
Yeah.
What's his
I
name?
can't pronounce his name. Yeah.
Yeah, wears
Mm-hmm.
the headband, white kid with the
Mm-hmm.
headband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That kid is nice, man. He's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Here's nice.
Yeah.
Here's nice.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, you can't sleep on him because
Yeah.
he's like an X factor. You know, they don't pay attention to him, and he gets stuff
He gets
done.
away.
You know,
Smart player, definitely a smart player, knows how to play the game
you
and
know?
take advantage of it too. But
All right, we'll see.
that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Harlem to MSG.